Is it okay to celebrate this win? Hello and welcome to Big Dash Knows. Big Dash knows what? New York Giants football. Let's go. The New York Giants defeat the Philadelphia Eagles 27-10 in the game where the New York Giants were winning 24-0 at halftime. That's 24 points against the starters. Before they had a chance to pull their starters, the New York Giants were winning 24-0. Shout out to the New York Giants. Shout out to the New York Giants for that. Listen, I'm going to celebrate my win. It is what it is. The draft ramifications are what the ramifications are, but at the end of the day, the New York Giants beat the Philadelphia Eagles. They go 3-3 in the division, a better divisional record than last year. And it is what it is. It is what it is. We are in the end game now. Shout out to Doctor Strange. We are in the end game now. Our spot, I believe right now, we fell from the 5th to the 6th spot. Obviously, when everybody woke up in this morning, they had all of these scenarios where the New York Giants can possibly get all the way up to the 2nd pick. By the time the first slot of games was over, that was a fantasy. And then when it came to our game, the New York Giants had no choice but to beat the Philadelphia Eagles. I don't even know, did the Philadelphia Eagles show up today? I think they did show up, and then we beat them up. I'm going to say that. Because, listen, no matter how meaningless this game was to the New York Giants, how meaningless this was for a certain fashion of the fan base, the Philadelphia Eagles needed this game in order to win a division and get some home field advantage in the playoffs. So it's not like they folded before this game even started. We actually folded up and packed up the Philadelphia Eagles. I'm a year late, people. I'm a year late last year when I was saying we're going to pack up the Eagles and we got beat 3 times last season by the Philadelphia Eagles. Well, we packed them up when it didn't count. We packed them up when it didn't count. And it still feels good to me. It still feels good to me. Understand what the ramifications are. Again, the New York Giants most likely dropped the 6th in draft selection. It is what it is now. And now the GM has to figure out what he has to do to fulfill whatever his plan is for the draft. And for the fans out there, me included, we get to play couch GM for the next 4.5 months. That's what we get to do. We get to come up with a bunch of scenarios like I love to do. The mock draft simulators, the trade scenarios, get to go through free agency. And we get to do all of that, but it ain't about that right now. It's about the New York Giants beating the Philadelphia Eagles 27-10, and again 24-0 when the starters were in there. We made the Eagles tap out, cripple across face, arm bar, whatever. They tapped. They called Uncle. They called Uncle. Did you see Nick Sirianni's face after the game? I loved it. It made me feel good inside. I got warm inside. I got warm with this victory. I don't care. I could talk about the ramifications tomorrow. I don't care. It felt good beating the Philadelphia Eagles. It felt good. It felt really good. Really good. But yeah, so shout out to Sterling Shepard. Again, most likely, guaranteed, it was his last game as a New York Giant. They tried to force feed him. The ball. Ended up getting an interception, trying to force feed him in the end zone. Trying to force feed Sterling Shepard. I thought that was dumb. I understand why you tried to do it, but I think there was a better way to try to get him into the end zone. Salute to Shep for moving ahead of Jeremy Shockey on the list of receptions in New York Giants history. He leapfrogged Jeremy Shockey, and they were trying to get him a touchdown. Again, ended up being an interception. I think it was dumb. We should have just played the game out organically, and I think it would have been easier for Sterling Shepard to get a touchdown that way, but I digress. 300 yards for Tyrod Taylor. Shout out to Tyrod Taylor. He had to lead the game twice. Again, this is an old man playing quarterback. When it comes to NFL years, it's an old man playing quarterback. Bad back, bad hand. He had to leave. Tommy DeVito gets in there, gets hurt on the first pass attempt. We lose Jalen Hyatt on that same pass attempt. Ugly. Ugly. I wanted a touchdown so bad for Jalen Hyatt. Not for me, but for him. But I was hoping he was going to be able to finish this season with a touchdown. I wanted it so bad for him. So bad. Didn't happen. They tried. Didn't happen. He gets hurt, hamstring. Hopefully it's not anything too serious. He did jog off the field, but he was gripping at that hamstring. Ended up being out after that. Shout out to Darren Waller. Good game from Darren Waller. Couple of receptions, couple of first downs. It was hitting him hard though. It was a couple times he got hit. I didn't think he was moved. He got up slow. I'm like, is he hurt again? This, that, and then he went out with the stinger for a little bit, but was able to come back in the game. I don't know when it comes to Waller, man. Better quarterback play, probably going to make him a better option. Right now, Darius Slayton gets a touchdown. Saquon Barkley gets 2 touchdowns and 100 yards rushing today. And again, like I said, Tyrod Taylor, another 300-yard game from Tyrod Taylor. Looked pretty good. And the thing that I'm mad about is, where was this? Did we just have the Eagles' number today, or did we get a glimpse of what we were missing the whole season? Could we have been scoring more points this year? The quick answer is yes. We should have been scoring more points. 14 points a game is trash. It's trash. We should have been scoring more points than that, period. I understand the industry injuries. I understand everything else that happened. Bad quarterback play, the bad offensive line play. We should have had more points than average of 14 a game. But in a meaningless game, Wink Martindale, we see what happens when Wink Martindale brings the pressure. Just nonstop pressure, blitzing from all angles. We see what happens. Good things happen when Wink Martindale sends the pressure. We saw it today. Turnover after turnover, fumble recoveries. We see what happens. So when it comes to this whole situation about Wink Martindale possibly not being the defensive coordinator moving forward, here's the thing. We saw today, or we proved today, that there is no way to justify moving on from Wink Martindale. No way to justify it. And then if it's just where the coaches can't get along, you have to figure out a way to coexist. Now, the other thing is, if Wink Martindale is just done, he's through, and he doesn't want to be a part of the New York Giants anymore, then of course you can't force somebody to be here if they don't want to be here. And then the next thing I'm going to say also is this: you see the work that you put in, Wink. I'm talking to Wink. You saw the work that you've been putting in for 2 years, the system that you've been trying to implement for 2 years. You see these guys starting to play. You got a couple of more players, and you're looking good. The defense, regardless of how the stats look and this, that, and the third, because the stats don't tell the whole story. Stats are stats. You can't argue with numbers. But the vibe is different. You're seeing a team get pressure. You're seeing a team that came on a little bit later in the season. You saw a team start getting those turnovers and stuff like that. Wink Martindale, if you still got coaching left in your body, if you still want to be a coach, do you really want to go somewhere else and start from scratch? When, to me and a lot of people, it looks like you have the New York Giants moving in the right direction on defense. Do you really want to start from scratch? Is the relationship between you and Brian Daboll to the point where you don't want to come back to the New York Giants? That's my question. That's a real question of Wink Martindale. And again, I'm going to do a video about the coordinators once we get through Black Monday, and then when it looks like, or we get more news about whether these guys are staying or going, I plan on dropping a video for that. But again, the New York Giants beat up the Philadelphia Eagles, packed them up. Last year I was saying I wanted to pack the Philadelphia Eagles up, and we finally did. And again, I understand there's going to be some people in the comments, oh, you didn't play against us. That first half was against starters. And last year, your backups beat us. That first half was against the starters, and we beat you guys 24-0 in the first half. Tapped out. Uncle. And again, Nick Sirianni's face was priceless. So do me a favor, people. I want to know what you guys think in the comments down below. I understand some of you guys are highly upset right now. The New York Giants are not picking second, third, or fourth in the draft. I know you're highly upset about it, and I understand. Also, there was a threat of us falling to the 7th or the 8th spot, and that's not going to happen. The New York Giants are pretty much solid in 6 right now. And again, I haven't seen anything else yet. The Sunday night game has not started yet. But to me, I'm going to enjoy this win because it's been a long time since the New York Giants beat the Philadelphia Eagles. I feel good, really good about it. And yeah, hopefully, deep down inside, everybody enjoys this win. Everybody. I feel like we broke the Philadelphia Eagles, especially going into the playoffs. I think we broke them. Mentally, possibly physically, with A.J. Brown going down, Blankenship, and some other people, whatever. And I don't like players getting injured, anything like that. I want to play teams at their full strength, this, that, and the third, whatever. But had we lost this game, it wouldn't have been no mercy in the Eagles fan base as far as being able to talk trash and this, that, and the other. They wouldn't care that we didn't have our starters on the field. They wouldn't care if we didn't have our center wasn't there and this, that. They don't care. They just know that they beat us. And I'm feeling the same way about this win too. We beat you. Philadelphia Eagles, we beat you. So I want to thank everybody for vibing with me. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And from one Giants fan to another, this is Big Dash Knows, Big Blue Nation. To the next video. Let's go.